Hey guys!
Hello.
That was the best intro ever.
Totally.
I don't know what I was going with it. But hi, I'm Arianya, and this is...
Paladin Null.
And we're gonna be playing some Final Fantasy IV for you guys. Actually, this is Final Fantasy II.
This is the Super Nintendo version.
Yeah. Yeah. So, normally it would just be one of us playing, but situations call for situations. And I still don't have an actual good computer yet, so
So, I have taken it upon myself to make sure that there's a way to let Ari still upload for you guys, basically.
he's a nice guy.
Because my computer records, and I'm just watching it on my screen, and then I upload to her channel after editing.
That's right, I'm the one playing this time! I'm the one playing! And I came up with the idea because I wanted him to do commentary with me, because he was going to have to record it for me anyway. If I wanted, if I wanted to be recorded, he would have to be in the net play thing.
I would have to physically be present and here to basically... It would be really awkward for me to just literally be here and do nothing but hit the record
and
button.
Me. It's just like, oh, I'm talking to you guys, and I'm actually also talking to Jad.
Yeah, because I'm just sort of sitting here in the background, like, whatever. Like, I'm just twiddling around on my phone, whatever. But,
so I came up with the idea that I don't really acknowledge the story very much. I don't follow it that much either. I really like the characters, and I love the fights and battles and everything. Whereas he is really into the story of this game. So I figured that, hey, why don't we do a co-com, and he can talk more about the story elements of the game while we go through it. And I can talk more about strategic stuff and whatnot, so... Since I know the game very well, mechanically.
And so, I suppose this is where I chime in and talk about actual story stuff.
Yeah, because I'm just going through it.
Mm-hmm. Basically, what's going on right now at the beginning of this story, and I still have those glitchy clouds. We had a failed recording of this earlier, and I had glitchy clouds then. My clouds are still glitchy.
Disclaimer, real quick, there is going to be lag, and there are going to be glitches in this, and we're both terribly sorry, but with the status that my computer's in
it's the best situation we've got.
Yeah, this is the best way we can get it to work. We might be able to get it better in later recordings. We're going to have to test around with some stuff, but honestly, I'm sorry. If you want to watch it, you're going to have to deal with a little bit of, unperfectness, I suppose.
Unperfectness. New words, Arianya. Go into Webster's dictionary right now.
Dictionary. Okay, continue with your story.
Basically, what's going on right now is we've got our main character here, Cecil.
Cecil.
Cecil. A lot of people want to say it's Cecil. I'm going to say Cecil because that's how it's spelled.
It's my father's name, Cecil. I'm serious.
She's not lying.
My father's name is Cecil. It pisses me off!
Anyway, Cecil here is the leader of a group of people called the Red Wings, who are a group of, I guess you could call them pilots? Or would you call them pilots, or would you call them like a ship crew?
Navy thing. They're not a ship crew, they're an actual army, but they're like dragoons, but on air planes.
Basically, the Red Wings are the operators of the airships in a kingdom called Baron. And basically, Cecil has been sent out to capture crystals for Baron from seemingly and basically capture crystals from completely and totally innocent people. And easiest thing to say is Cecil's not 100% on this whole thing. He's very apprehensive about the situation.
His crew is also questioning it, which I suppose is also aiding to Cecil's uneasiness, because he's like, I'm not the only one.
Like, this sort of gives him a bit more confidence, I believe. Like, if I was the only one that thought something, maybe I'd think, oh, well, that's just my thing. But if I get confirmation on something like that, I'm gonna get a little suspicious.
Okay, I'm gonna speak up here and say that, I really like the characters in this game. This game isn't my favorite in the Final Fantasy series. It's up there, but it's not my favorite. And there are reasons why, but I probably won't ever touch them. But one thing that I really love about this game are the characters. I think they're really well written and really well designed. And I mean, we'll get more to that in a minute.
We'll get into one character specifically, I can tell you now.
But one thing that I really enjoy are the characters, and Cecil is one of them. And I give him a lot of crap. I'm gonna go ahead and warn you guys right now. I give Cecil a lot of crap. But I really do think the characters are really well done in this game. So I wanted to go ahead and mention that real quick before I get distracted, because I'm about to.
There's probably going to be a lot of distraction in this entire thing, but we'll do our best to stay on topic, I suppose.
Yeah. Also, we will do our best to not spoil things, but if party members leave, and I have to unequip them on screen, I'm sorry if it spoils, but maybe it'll help you if you're playing along with us, and you'll know, hey, maybe I should unequip this party because they're about to leave. As party member, because they're about to leave. Because I will do that. I like unequipping my party members before they leave the party so I could, sell their equipment for money.
See, I had a problem every time that I play a game. I don't... even if I've played through it before, I never remember when somebody leaves, so I just never have that gear on me.
Yeah. I rarely use it, but... also, this playthrough will not be 100%. I will not be getting a full bestiary. What other thing went up? I probably won't be getting most of the treasure, or a lot of the treasure, okay, I won't be getting some of the treasure, there we go. I will be getting most of it, but it's mostly going to be my memory, because I played this game a lot recently. So, everything that you're going to see me play is all based off of my memory. Here goes a testament of Ari's memory. But I will be getting all the summons, anything else that's really particular about?
I think that's all you're ultra particular about.
I'll be doing side quests, all the side quests as well. Yeah. I think that's really about it. There isn't any post-game content in this one, so I don't mention any of that, but
See,
also, I've never played this version.
As I say, Ari's main experience with Final Fantasy IV was actually Final Fantasy IV, back after we figured it out. You played it most on PSP, right?
I've played it mostly on PSP. I played the Game Boy Advance one several times. I beat it once. And then I got the PSP version, and I played the crap out of the PSP version. When am I not playing the PSP version? That's the question.
Well, my serious experience with Final Fantasy IV was actually on the emulated version of this on my Wii, on the Virtual Arcade. But there is also, I have the version for my phone, which is the same version as the version for the DS, just without the extra screen. All of them have their own little differences here and there. And we've lost Ari, so I guess I'll just keep talking. Basically, each version has its own little intricacies, but the general mechanics and everything of it are the same, give or take a bit. So you can pretty much play along with any copy you can get your hands on. My suggestion, if you have a smartphone, would be the iPhone version, because it's really nice. It's generally good. I don't know why I said generally. It's really good for an iPhone game. It's just really, it plays very nicely for an iPhone game. I've been playing it recently. It's a lot of fun.
Well, there are a few differences between the versions, or at least this one. I've only played a little bit. I haven't played that much of this version, but I have noticed a few differences. Like, some treasures are in this version that aren't in other versions that I've played. So for the most part, you can play along. I don't think boss strategies will change that much, but if they do, I'll let you know. I will definitely mention if a boss strategy changes.
Also, as far as story goes, you should probably be reading this because we haven't been clicking through it too fast.
Yeah, this is okay. I skipped that because it was just tutorial. It was telling me how to
Ari,
walk.
Look at the swords on the wall. I made a comment that the swords on the walls look a lot like the standard soldier swords from Crisis Core. The one that Zack originally starts with at the beginning of the game.
Maybe?
As far as the hand grip goes, it's very reminiscent.
Maybe. I'm not... I think this looks too noble, though. It looks more like... I don't know. I would talk to Kane, but he doesn't say anything interesting. I don't think, did he?
They give a little bit of an exposition on, not really on Kane's part, but it's, you get a little bit more backstory on Cecil.
No.
Basically, the
Okay.
backstory is that, Cecil is a Dark Knight, but he's not a Dark Knight by choice. He was told to become a Dark Knight by the King of Baron. Basically, he was never ultra big on it. Oh, and we get to meet another character here.
I guess we should talk about like their backstory because this game doesn't really go much into it, right?
Yeah. Cecil is of course, well, was, if you're paying attention, the head of the Red Wings, and he was a Dark Knight and generally accepted by everyone because of his loyalty. But sometimes he questions his loyalty, obviously, because bad things happen whenever you go into something blindly.
I'll wait here.
Just before we continue meeting people.
Yeah.
Kane is Cecil's best friend.
They all grew up together.
They all grew up together. Kane and Cecil grew up together. Kane is the leader of the Dragoons of Baron.
If I remember correctly, Kane and Cecil were both adopted by the king as well. That's a really important detail to also mention.
And also, we just met Rosa, who is Cecil's love interest.
Are you sure?
I'm gonna leave it at that right now. He's Cecil's love interest.
Should we put my disclaimer in here now?
What disclaimer?
Kane is my favorite Final Fantasy character of all time. And I feel like I have to explain a little bit about it. Because most people don't like Kane, or most people don't really care for Kane. But I really
I think he's cool, I just don't really care for him all that much.
Oh man.
I think he's really cool, but I mean, like, I never got into him as much as I considered Cecil being a really cool character.
Yeah. So, usually what you guys will notice is that I really am I obsessed? Do you think I'm obsessed?
You have an entire folder on your computer of nothing but saved photos of fan art and other such things of Kane. Maybe just a little bit.
Not okay. I hate you.
And here we meet Sid.
Oh man, does he really need an introduction?
Well,
no, we don't have
Sid.
to. Never mind. Just ignore me. Just ignore me over here.
How's my airship doing?
It was what?
We've decided to just ignore the dialogue up to this point, but I suppose we could actually... You learn a bit more of them just by actually reading the dialogue.
And then he leaves.
And then he leaves.
Okay. That's the last character I think we'll meet this episode. I hope.
That scene right there, by the way, has always made me think that Sid was Rose's father. I learned today that that's not the case. That just Sid has a daughter.
Well, I think what also helped is that Sid sees Cecil and Rosa as his kids as well. He looks at them like a fatherly figure. If that makes any sense.
Yeah, he's
You
older
know?
than all of them.
Yeah, so he's just kind of like he looks at them like as if they were his own kids as well.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, do we have anything else to talk about before I continue on?
Not that I know of, no.
Okay, I'm also not going to talk very much about Kane and his story, just because the game does an amazingly, to me, at least in my opinion, it does an amazing job at
Representing
about
who
Kane.
Kane is.
yeah, and going into what Kane and his motivations and everything else is and all that good stuff, so I'm not going to talk much about Kane, even though I love him. Favorite
me,
character of all time!
This is going to torture Ari, not being able to talk about him.
Also, I'm going to try and be a little bit quiet here, because I love, the music that's coming up. But,
King got greedy. What else can we say?
hey man, don't even. If I'm not allowed to talk about him, you're not allowed to talk about him either. For those of you who've never played-
I am commenting on what they're saying.
Oh,
Thank you very much.
sorry.
Pay attention sometimes, maybe you'd figure that out.
Hey, I thought you meant that he was stealing Rosa.
Easy there.
Oh my gosh. I think only people who've actually played this and know what's going on would understand like what I'm talking about, because it just sounds like, I guess out of context, sounds like Kate just being like a douchebag. Like,
Cecil has activated brooding mode.
shh, shh, shh. Is that
Job's a
rap?
job.
Like rap, like RAB? I love the song. This is one of my favorite songs. It's a theme of love. It's really, really good.
Mm-hmm.
The lyrics are gorgeous. Both of the versions of the lyrics are really good. But another thing about the characters is that at least I see it mostly in the trio here. Well, you don't see Kane, but I'm insinuating Kane as well. They're very human-like.
Mm-hmm.
More so than I see in a lot of other Final Fantasy games, but I just feel like
Their
they're very
development
nice.
feels very human. It doesn't feel like a formulated development, really.
Yeah. I mean, like, the translation sounds really goofy and cheesy and everything, but as the game goes on, you'll see, you know. Yeah.
I still think the two best translations are the one for the DS and the one for the PSP.
Well, they have the same translator, I think.
Exactly. That's why I said it together.
I wonder if the Game Boy Advance one has the same translation as this one. Because I remember I didn't like the Game Boy Advance
I wouldn't be
translation that much.
surprised.
I mean, the names of enemies and spells are different.
Are they?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's why I didn't know what
Oh, that's
its
right.
one thing was. Remember, I was like, "Is it a potion?"
I forgot about that side. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because either it was a problem with that, or it was a just at least a size thing. I don't know though. Potion doesn't seem like it would take up that much space compared to Cure 1.
They probably didn't think of the name for potion. I don't remember if they had potions in the first two Final Fantasy games.
Uh-oh. Narration time.
Are you gonna do it?
I'll do it.
We didn't. Well, I didn't want to do voice acting, but I asked John if he would have an announcer voice for this part coming up.
Thus the Dark Knight Cecil was expelled from his command as a captain of the Red Wings. And he and Dragoon Kane left Baron for the village Mist in a valley enclosed in deep fog.
Can you do it in our Atomic voice?
My Atomic voice?
Our Atomic voice.
Oh, our Atomic voice?
Yeah.
Airships had been a dream of many people. After the realization of the dream came greed and ambition.
Now do Kefka's voice.
Kefka's voice? Really? You want me to do Kefka's voice?
Yes.
Okay. Through its fleet of airships, Baron became the most powerful nation. But why is Baron seeking the crystals? Why do the monsters keep increasing?
I'm sorry. I love his voice acting. I needed to show it off because it's so good. Okay, you can do your novel.
Is there even any more to this? Oh, there is.
Told you. I've played this game too many times.
The crystal was shedding its light silently.
I was like, there's one more line. I'm telling you.
One of my favorite things to ever hear on an SNES, the Final Fantasy theme. Okay.
Problem. Thank you.
Gotta pull out the cane. Anyway, that's where we're gonna end the episode. It's been about 19 minutes on the dot.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, this is all coming from my memory, and I'm not looking at like a guide for the most part. He's gonna help keep time, so hopefully these episodes won't be too long, like varied.
Now, since I don't have to look everything up, I'm allowed to use my phone now as a stopwatch.
Yeah. So, if you enjoyed the episode, please let us know in the comment section below. Go ahead and ask any questions if you want, but for the most part, I know what I'm gonna do for the LP. Like, I know everything I'm going to do. So you don't have to worry about informing me of things to do, like in most of my other LPs. I actually have a really good idea of what to do in this game. So, you have anything you want to say? Subscribe if you want to see more of the videos. And subscribe to his channel.
I think that's about everything we need to say.
You don't want to do your like, favorite, subscribe,
Nah, we're
share?
good.
Are you sure?
We're good.
Are you positive?
If you think we're good, don't forget
Shit,
to
about Kane?
like, comment, subscribe. Huh?
Talk more about Kane and how perfect he is.
Nope.
He's a perfect blonde
No,
hair.
no, no, no. Mm-mm. We're not getting into this. We're not doing this. Any- You were supposed to save the town of Baron for the next episode. Anyway.
In this spot. Okay, actually I will because I want to see Kane's gorgeous face.
His gorgeous pixelated face.
This is the beginning of a nightmare for John.
I hope you enjoyed the video. Please remember to stick around for more videos hopefully coming out. I'm usually really diligent with uploads, but bear with me, I'm in college, so editing and uploading tends to be... I do it in packs of 3. Keep that in mind. I'll do it in a pack of 3 of like a Monday, Wednesday, Friday thing. But if it comes late on a day, or if they come on like a Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday sort of thing, just expect them to come out every other day once I start uploading one.
He's in college, guys. Come on.
I was gonna say, I'll do my best, but if something doesn't come out, don't kill me. Anyway, see you guys later, and that's it. Bye.
Nice